trembles under my stride. A shadow falls, but I won't hide.
When Oda finally gave us more of Brook's past, we were focused on the emotional reveals. We learned more about King Revan, Queen Kendale, Princess Shuri, and the tragic destruction of Esperia. But while everyone was focused on Brook, the community started noticing something else. Hidden throughout these chapters are clues that may connect Esperia to the Holy Knights, the Blackbeard pirates, and even Roxdizabek himself. Now before we begin, these are just theories. Nothing here is confirmed, but some of these connections are difficult to ignore. And the deeper we go, the more it starts to feel like Esperia wasn't just Brook's home kingdom. It may have been one of the most important kingdoms in the entire Final Saga. Let's start with the smallest theory first. During the destruction of Esperia, fans noticed an unknown swordsman calmly sitting beside Saint Mars in his monstrous form. While the kingdom burns, this man shows absolutely no emotion. He's not shocked, he's not concerned, he's simply watching. And almost immediately, fans began comparing him to Shiryu of the Blackbeard pirates. The resemblance is hard to miss. The facial structure, the intimidating presence, the fact that they both carried themselves with this cold and detached attitude. Of course, resemblance alone doesn't prove anything. But One Piece has a long history of family members sharing visual traits. Luffy resembles Dragon when he goes Snake Man. Ace resembles Roger. Yamato resembles Kaido. So naturally, fans start asking a question. Could this mysterious figure be related to Shiryu? Maybe a father, maybe a grandfather, maybe simply an ancestor. If true, that would mean Shiryu's family could have direct ties to the world government in one of the darkest events in Brook's past. And that's where things start to get even more strange. Not only could he be related to Shiryu, but fans believe this swordsman could somehow be connected to the mysterious man marked by flames. Now that theory is far more speculation, but it is interesting that Shiryu was one of the first major characters to discuss that mystery. Could Oda have been planting seeds much earlier than we realized? Or maybe this is simply a visual coincidence. Either way, it raises an important question. Why were so many mysterious figures present during Esperia's destruction? Because the next theory gets much bigger. Now this is the theory that has completely taken over discussions online. At first glance, Kendale appears to be exactly what she seems, a queen, a loving mother, and someone deeply respected by her people. But fans have noticed several details that don't quite fit. The first is her introduction. Kendale is introduced at the opera house. That might not seem important until you remember another name, Gunko. Many fans believe Gunko belongs to the Mayor family, and according to a growing theory and the live action, the Mayors have connections to opera houses and performances. If that's true, then Kendale's introduction to the opera may not be random at all. Another detail is Kendale's military background. Oda specifically emphasizes that she was a respected commander, not simply a queen. I repeat, a commander. That's a very unusual detail to highlight. Where did she gain that experience? How did she become such a capable military leader? What if she already possessed that experience before arriving in Esperia? And quick side note, this might just be a throwaway line, but she said she got strong so she can stand next to the man she loves. But she doesn't deem this possible. What if she wasn't talking about King Revan, but another holy knight, or even King Emu? This all directly leads into the Holy Knight theory. The only celestial dragon we have seen freely operating in the lower world is Garling. And Garling wasn't an ordinary celestial dragon. He was one of the most powerful individuals in the world government itself. So what if Kendall wasn't an ordinary queen either? What if she originally served as a holy knight? What if she was sent to Esperia for a specific reason? And that brings us to another interesting detail, her weapon. Many, if not all readers, notice that Kendall's sword appears extremely similar to weapons used by Shamrock and the other holy knights. Now, Oda rarely designs important weapons by accident. Every major sword tends to have its own identity, in a sense, its own silhouette, its own personality. So if the weapons truly are nearly identical, then there may be a connection. Maybe they're from the same family. Maybe the sword was inherited, or maybe Kendall herself once belonged to the same organization. And secondly, another mystery begins to make sense. Gunko. And if Kendall really was connected to the Holy Knights, then Gunko becomes much more important than we originally thought. Because she wouldn't simply just be a princess from Esperia. She would represent a connection between two worlds. The world of celestial dragons and whatever secret existed within Esperia itself. Because remember, Shanks has a similar heritage, and Gaban even states that Shanks is the child of destiny. Which brings us to the biggest theory of them all. This is where everything starts coming together. We all immediately notice something unusual about King Revan. He looks incredibly similar to Rox Dizabek. The facial structure, the hair, the intimidating presence, even the way both characters carry themselves feels similar. And while appearance alone doesn't prove anything, the similarities don't stop there. Both men stood against powers connected to the world government. Both stood against the world itself. Both men became threats to the established order, and both men ultimately suffered catastrophic downfalls. Then there's another strange coincidence. Brook and Blackbeard reportedly shared several visual similarities as children. Again, not proof, not at all proof, but another connection fans have pointed out. The deeper you look, the more Esperia starts feeling connected to larger mysteries, which is why some fans believe Revan may have ties to the baby clan itself, the same mysterious lineage that made Rox Dizabek so important. If that's true, then Esperia wasn't just another kingdom destroyed by history. It may have been a kingdom carrying knowledge, bloodlines, or traditions that the world government wanted to erase. And suddenly the destruction of Esperia looks very different. Maybe Emu wasn't targeting a random kingdom. Maybe Esperia was a problem. Maybe it was connected to a lineage that had challenged the world government for centuries. And if Kendall truly was investigating that lineage, then her presence there makes perfect sense. Suddenly these theories stop feeling separate, and they start feeling connected. At first, Brook's flashback seemed like a simple expansion of his backstory, but after looking closer, fans began noticing connections everywhere. A mysterious swordsman who resembles Shiryu, a queen who may have ties to the Holy Knights, a king who bears striking similarities to Rox Dizabek, and a kingdom that may have been hiding secrets important enough for the world government to erase. Now, again, none of these theories are confirmed, but together, they all point toward the same question. Why was Esperia so important? Because if Oda revealed this kingdom now, during the Final Saga, there's a good chance we're only seeing the beginning of the mystery. And even if one of those theories turns out to be true, Brook's tragic past may end up changing how we understand the entire history of One Piece. It's no face to face. Y'all know what to do. I'm out.
What if everything